Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical, and today we're going to talk about how many mags you should carry, okay? And this is basically how many mags you guys are going to want to carry on your daily basis for your EDC. How many magazines, how many rounds should you be carrying? This is a kind of my preferred go-to. This is a kit I've had for a lot of years now, many years I've been using this. This is Tough Products, TUFF. A long time ago, I was using a lot of their products, and when they first actually designed this, I was one of the first people to carry one, and I even forget the name of it. It's so old, but it's something I really like because it gives the ability to carry a bunch of magazines, and this is way more magazines really than a lot of other guys will carry for EDC, you know, EDC purposes. And I'm gonna just go right off and say this. I'm making this video for you guys who are gonna be carrying, and you're gonna be carrying in all kinds of different locations and for all kinds of different reasons. Maybe you're exercising your Second Amendment right. Maybe you're even in another country and you're watching my video and you're in a dangerous area. Or maybe you're in not such a dangerous area and you're just carrying because you like guns, or because you like shooting, or because you have a gun. There's so many reasons to carry. I think the biggest thing that I'm going to say is that it's a responsibility when you carry a gun for you to not hurt anyone else. It's a huge responsibility because a firearm has the ability to expel a projectile that can pass through walls, that can cover up to 1 mile in distance very easily. Okay, so you don't want to just have accidental discharges and hurt innocent bystanders and hurt people around you. So let's get that covered out of the way first. I do really promote making the world a better place here on my channel, and I think that the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. So that's why I'm talking about this. Now, the other end of the spectrum is you military guys who are watching my channel, and I do have a lot of military guys that watch this channel. I'm not giving advice here on what you should carry. The few military guys that you may be in some sort of special operations and you have the ability to choose what ammo, how many magazines, where the placement of ammo is, stuff like that. I'm not going to give you guys advice in a YouTube video, all right? The people that I'm making this for is civilians, everyday carry civilians. And this right now, I'm in an extremely dangerous area in a third world country, and it's right now, it's a very dangerous time. It's actually election day down here, and just notoriously known for lots of violence on this day historically. So I decided to wear my big magazine carrier. But I've been talking a lot and haven't really said anything crazily or anything big, anything game-changing. So let me go ahead and give the first and most important piece of advice when considering carrying magazines for your EDC and carrying a gun, and how many magazines you should carry. The correct answer is always carry the most amount of magazines that you can carry effectively and concealed. It's a very simple answer. Carry as many as you can, as long as you're not going to lose them, you're not going to drop them, you're not going to show them to anybody, and you're able to do it effectively without hurting yourself. You're not going to carry 600 pounds with your entire belt surrounded just because you have possibly one of my concealed carry shirts that I sell on my website, and it gives you the opportunity to carry all the way around your waistband. I could wear mag holders all the way around my waistband, wear a Bone Tactical concealed carry shirt, and because of the incredible design of that shirt, I could have those magazines all concealed. All right, imagine if I had one of these in one here. I could probably have 4 or 5 of these on my belt. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 magazines in here, 1 in my firearm. So that's how many magazines? That's absolutely ridiculous, guys, okay? But it's possible. The other end of the spectrum is it's very uncomfortable, and I can't do it effectively because I'm going to be bumping into stuff, I'm gonna have all this weight on my waistband. It's gonna be a pain in the butt to figure out where to put all this stuff on my belt. All right, I will give a shout out to the guys who sent me this belt. It's a really cool belt with a ratchet system. It's much more adjustable than a belt with like holes or something like that, but it still looks very presentable. It's pretty tough and a great price. Use code BoneTactical10 for 10% off from coreessentials.com for one of these belts. I use them every day now, guys. They sent me several belts and I use them every day. I like them. They aren't the toughest belts in the world, but I've never had one break. They just, you know how belts get a little bit warped over time. That does happen. But for the price, they're amazing belts. And the system is really cool. And if you put them together right, they're tough as nails and they'll never break on you. That's what's important. If I can buy something that's a good price and it's not going to break on me, I'll get it every time. So definitely check out Core Essentials, K-O-R-E, essentials.com, BoneTactical10 for 10% off. That's where I got my belt from, since we're talking about everyday carry. The pants, guys, this is a sneak preview for you guys. These are pants that I've been prototyping for years now. And yeah, they're coming soon. Bone Tactical Tact pants are coming soon. So you guys have been asking and asking and asking, and we've been using them on our security teams overseas, and the pants are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I've just been trying to make sure that I can get them onto the market at an affordable price point, because I don't want to charge $400 or even $300 for a pair of pants. I'm trying to get these pants in at half the price of the next comparable pants, okay? And you guys probably know which are the next comparable pants, because it's what I used to wear. It's what a lot of tier 1 operators used to wear before, if they make the switch or if they have made the switch over to Bone Tactical pants. So you guys see me with these, and that's all I use. They're amazing, and they're actually tougher than the leading brand, and I'm gonna drop them on the market at half the price. Right now, the only guys that have them are my team guys and some guys in hot zones that do help me out with some of my prototyping. Okay, so anyway, let's continue right on into the magazines. The magazine discussion goes like this. The standard, okay, is kind of 2 extra mags. But you have to ask yourself, the first question you ask yourself is, how many can I effectively carry that it's not going to be an issue, that I'm not going to have any issues because of the extra stuff that I'm carrying? And then you start asking yourself questions like, can I access them quickly? Are they well protected? So these ones right here, for example, have this protector that you saw how quick and easy it was to rip off. And then if SHTF, I just completely rip this off and throw it down. And then I'm grabbing and switching magazines very fast, okay? 5 magazines in a very accessible, very fast, very small pouch. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Will you ever need 5 magazines? Probably not. How many magazines do I like to carry if I'm in a hot zone? I like to carry 8 magazines, including the one in my firearm. But I prefer 8's the magic number for me. I've never entered a situation where I felt like it was so hot that I needed more than 8 magazines and wasn't facing such crazy insurmountable odds that if you run through 8 magazines quickly, it's a really bad situation. So it's kind of a J curve. From 8 magazines, if you run through 8 magazines in a firefight, 100 magazines is not going to be enough. Some of you guys who have been in shootouts or firefights or combat experience guys understand what I'm saying. It's a J curve of shooting situations. 90% of situations, maybe in the United States, for example, are going to be, if you're a trained and skilled professional with a firearm, you're not going to need any more than the magazine in your firearm. If you're not a trained professional, you're always going to need at least 2. If you're not on your super A game, you're always going to need at least 2. And depending where you're at, like I said. But if it's a self-defense situation, 1 versus 1, 1 versus 2 people, you and a bandit with a gun, chances are that guy's not carrying extra mags, so you can put him down with 3 shots easy, all right? Okay, double tap and a follow-up, make sure the job's done, whatever. We're talking not running through even a full magazine. You have something like a Glock that's at 9mm, that's a double stack magazine. You can carry a ton of rounds with a base extra rounds in your base plate. You know, I carry always either one size magazine bigger than what my pistol calls for, or a magazine with an extended base plate like this one. So you even got more rounds in your magazine. All right. But if you aren't super experienced, what you'll see guys like police officers a lot of times, guys that don't have a lot of real world experience, guys like that are just carrying firearms, to carry a firearm, maybe even a competition shooter or something like that. When they actually find themselves going from the range to then a real life situation, they'll do a mag dump. They'll dump their whole magazine, and then they'll find that none of their shots made contact. And then from the point of them finding that none of their shots made contact, then they find out that they're out of ammo. And then those are the kind of people that also can't fight. And so even if the other person's out of ammo because they did the same thing, they also did a mag dump and didn't hit anything, then you're going to get your butt kicked because they can probably fight. So it's a lot of stuff like that. And I always carry a knife. So I'm one of those guys that if I go through 8 magazines, or in this case, if I go through 6 magazines, I know where I'm at with my round count. I know how many rounds I'm firing. I know where my rounds are going. All right, that's 95% of people that carry a gun can't keep up with their mag count during a firefight and don't know where all their rounds are going. All right, so just knowing that is a big deal. And then having a knife, and then knowing how to use a knife, and then knowing how to fight even without a knife is like huge amount of help on top of all that. So it's all really good stuff to know, but you're talking about so much has to do with your level of training. So probably the easiest thing to do is carry like a paddle holster, like a Phobos or something. I have a Phobos paddle holster that has 2 little magazines right here that I got from Zahal.org. A buddy of mine sells them. I'll actually show you that at the end of the video. I'll cut in and show you that at the end of the video. So I'll definitely go ahead and show you guys that at the end of the video, but that's kind of like the middle level. I would consider this the highest level because there's not really a super great way to carry 8 mags on your belt, but you can have mags in your truck. You can have one of these mounted in your truck. Okay, you can have a backpack with, you can sew some Velcro into a backpack, and then you can use something like this or any kind of modify a mag holder to fit in your backpack somehow. So I think 8 rounds is kind of like I said, there's a J curve. Sorry, 8 magazines. There's that J curve. If you have access to 8 magazines, having access to more than that is kind of almost futile because it's a really bad situation if you need more than 8 magazines. This is the Phobos, okay? This is the Phobos from Zahal.org. You just drop 2 magazines in there and it slips in your belt. Make sure you guys are training because mag orientation is a little bit different. I always have indexed my finger with the front of the magazine, the way that the rounds are facing, and then load into my gun like this. So if I'm from the outside, I just flip here. And if I'm from the front, like this would be bullets facing the front, then I just flip the same thing there, okay? So make sure that you're always training and knowing the position of your magazines. Always keep your magazines full. There's some myths out there that you shouldn't have all the rounds in your magazine. That's probably one of the most ignorant comments that I've ever heard. Don't keep your magazines full. Definitely keep your magazines full. It's not going to hurt the springs. Magazine springs change. They lose tension because of cycling. They don't lose tension because of being under tension. They don't lose strength because of being under tension. They lose strength from cycling. So the more you use them, the weaker the springs get. But keeping them loaded doesn't make the springs weaker. We've ran into 1911 mags that have been loaded since World War II that still fire. It's happened recently. So we keep all our AR mags loaded, everything. Vietnam era AR mags, keep them loaded. You guys have seen the Colt Commandos I use. never had a mag-based malfunction from keeping a magazine loaded, and I've never heard of anybody who has in the last 100 years. All right, so I stay up on all that stuff, guys. It doesn't happen. So keep your mags fully loaded. And like I said, back to discussing versus your ability. Be honest about your ability and know your abilities. Be honest about your skill set. So I would definitely carry almost at least one extra magazine, because you're probably going to be that guy that does the mag dump and forgets his ammo count and everything like that. And then you'll at least have another magazine if you need it. 2 extra magazines is nice, just because if you're going to carry one, why not 2? They fit, 2 magazines fit great, and there's tons of double mag pouches. It's just kind of like the industry standard for some reason, a double mag pouch. And then you can occasionally find something like this 5 mag pouch, which for me, I really like the 5 mag pouch like this one. It's nylon, it's fast, it's great, and it just works very well. But most of you guys are not going to need that many rounds of ammunition, and if you do, it's a really bad day. It's a really bad day. So can you imagine, being in the United States as a civilian and burning through, over 100 rounds of ammunition in a self-defense situation? The final consideration is that you're in that case, if you do use a bunch of mags to defend yourself, you're going to prison, and probably for a long time. Some of you guys know my story. I ended up using a firearm to defend myself when I was 18 years old, and still have that charge on my record, even though I was 100% within my rights as an American. I lost my rights and was jailed, and now am a convicted felon because I used a firearm to defend my life. And in my case, I'd be dead right now if it wasn't for my proficiency with a firearm at that time. And that's the final consideration. When carrying a firearm, you need to understand and be aware and be okay with the fact that you're going to have to end up dealing with law enforcement at some point. Probably if you're most likely going to have to deal with law enforcement if you have to use that firearm to defend yourself. So are you okay with potentially going to jail, or at the very least losing everything you have, or losing a bunch of money, spending tons and tons of money on lawyers and court costs to get yourself out of trouble, even though you never really did anything other than just use your firearm to defend yourself? So these are all things to consider, guys. I am overseas right now. You guys know I sometimes do some private security stuff, and you guys know that I have the international private security contracting company, as well as the maker of the world's most effective edged weapons and self-defense tools. So it's different for me. I'm not recommending that you carry this, but this is what it would look like if you were, for example, to be on some sort of a protective detail where it was required that you only have a pistol and that you carry it concealed, which is always a good idea anyway, carrying concealed. And then this is what one of the best options looks like for having a large amount of magazines that are easy to carry, quickly accessible, all of that stuff, well protected, concealed. And that's kind of the gist of the whole conversation there. I do appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys want to see more videos like this, if you want to see more shooting videos, let me know. I'll do some shooting. If you guys want to see more firearm related videos, everyday carry videos, including firearms, let me know. If you guys just want to see what knives that you should be carrying, let me know what you guys want to see more of, because if you just want to see knife videos, how to carry a knife, knife dynamics, I'll make those kind of videos. I'm making these videos for you guys. I'm not making them for myself. I'm not going to talk about stuff that I don't know, but I will continue sharing videos in my field of expertise. So ask me anything that you want to know. Give me some feedback so I can keep the videos coming, and I do appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Bone out.